From GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium, you're watching Thursday night college football presented by Liberty Mutual. Folks, this is kickoff week presented by Modelo. Amongst a backdrop, a tsunami of red, which in the spiritual realm is a symbol of redemption. A couple of teams trying to redeem themselves from a season ago. The Nebraska Cornhuskers and the Cincinnati Bearcats against a backdrop, folks, of a constellation of stars, both on and off the field. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, rooting for different teams tonight for different reasons. We'll explain that as the night progresses. Cincinnati will receive the opening kickoff. Nebraska will kick off. This is just the second meeting all time between these two schools in, we are told it's a neutral site game, but it sounds a little bit more like Nebraska South. Mark Jones alongside Roddy Jones, Quint Kesnick down to the field. Another fantastic, compelling, riveting season of college football underway with a slew of big-time games coming up over the next several days. Toe meets leather. Wilson on the return, found a crease and takes it out to the 28-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 from there, and that's where quarterback Brendan Sorsby will take the reins of this Bearcat offense. Last season, he completed 64% of his passes, threw for almost 3,000 yards, and, well, he feels like, Roddy, he has a little bit better control of things, albeit he hasn't been tested.
Mark, he's one of the most talented quarterbacks in the Big 12. True dual threat. He's a powerful and dynamic runner, but it's the improvement on the weapons around him, that new receiving core that Cincinnati is so excited about.
6 new wide receivers. First down and 10 from the 28. Sorsby going to throw it down the sideline, and it's incomplete as he challenges Andrew Marshall right away, intended for Caleb Goody. Well, Scott Satterfield is the head coach of the Cincinnati Bearcats. He says we're not that far off. He believes that there's opportunity this season for his Bearcats, especially in conference play. Last year, 5-7 after beginning the year 5-1.
One of the big questions, the things that plagued them last year, was the inability to get open in man coverage. They couldn't do it on that first play.
They're going to hand it off, keep it on the ground on second, and a great move by Evan Pryor, who picks up the first down. He put Deshaun Singleton on his knees.
And it's a great block by Joe Royer, the tight end, who comes around, gets the kick out, and allows Evan Pryor to duck up underneath. Joe Royer, one of the best tight ends in the entire country. He's a great blocker, a sure-handed receiver, and a big-time prospect for next year.
13-yard gain, first down and 10. On the jet sweep, this is Cyrus Allen, one of those transfers from Texas A&M, brought down by Deshaun Singleton. Gain of 4 on the play. Matt Rule, meanwhile, in his third year on the sidelines in Lincoln, Nebraska. Everybody knows that year 3 is when he starts to cook, when he starts to pop. At his previous stops in year 3, he took his schools to a conference championship.
He's a program builder. He's taken over projects and built both Temple and Baylor, the really successful programs, before leaving those stops.
On second down, they keep it on the ground again. This is Pryor. Made one tackler miss and picks up about 3 on the play. Missed tackled by Watson Trent. But sets up an intriguing third down now coming up.
Third down around midfield. This is where Brendan Sorsby's legs become a big weapon for the Cincinnati offense. And this is territory where Scott Satterfield, with the energy on Nebraska side, might think about going for it if he can get to a 4th and short.
They're in a good part of the field to do that. Walker is the new tailback. On the RPO, he gets it out quickly, completes it for a first down to Allen, but there's a flag down on the play. Let's see if it stands.
snap. False start. Offense. Number 50. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Takes away a first down from that catch from Cyrus Allen, one of those speedy transfers.
Watch the left guard, just a little flinch right before the ball is snapped. Our umpire is all over it. That play should have been blown dead, but that was a first down. Yeah. Cincinnati, an early season mistake. One of those things that you can't have in a first game on a first drive that's going well for you.
Tawi Walker, the Wisconsin transfer in the backfield. Sorsby gets it out, but there is a host of tacklers surrounding Allen. They bring him down for a loss on the play. It'll be fourth down, and they'll punt.
It's a really nice play by the freshman, Donovan Jones, who followed across in man coverage. You can see him coming across the formation. He just makes a great open field tackle. Goes to the outside hip, makes Cyrus Allen cut back inside. And that Nebraska defense rallies to the football to force a punt. But again, that false start cost them. They had the first down on that play.
Max Fletcher, whose brother Mason punted for the Bearcats several years ago. Good coverage downfield as Barney makes the catch in traffic. Let's go down to Quint.
This was originally a Cincinnati home game that migrated from Indianapolis out here to KC, and suddenly Cincinnati finds themselves in Cornhusker country, surrounded by red. And so because of that, they went to their red road jerseys. Cincinnati, the home team, wearing their road red.
You're watching Kickoff Week, presented by Modelo.
And welcome back, everyone, to Kansas City. Mark Jones, Roddy Jones. Hey, now we get a look, Roddy, at Dylan Raiola, who coaches tell us is a, quote, generational quarterback in terms of the way that he prepares, like a pro.
And his talent. This is a guy that has all the talent in the world. It's time for him to take a step to being one of the best quarterbacks in the country after some struggles a year ago in his first year as a starter and his first year in college ball.
They go empty formation on 1st down and 10. First possession of the football game for them, and he throws an incompletion intended for the tailback out of the backfield, Emmett Johnson. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Last year completed 67% of his passes, 13 touchdowns against 11 interceptions. They got off to a fast start, 5-1, but then he struggled a little bit down the stretch. They do have a new offensive coordinator in Dana Holgerson. On 2nd and 10, they keep it on the ground. Johnson broke 1 tackle and picks up about 5. It'll be 3rd and about 5 to go as we take a look at our impact players, brought to you by the Home Depot.
Well, for Nebraska offensively, the guy that just carried the ball, Emmett Johnson, is a big-time player for him. They're expecting a big year from him, both as a runner and out of the backfield. And then when you look at Cincinnati, it all starts with the godfather in the middle, Dante Corleone, the big 335-pound nose tackle, one of the best defensive linemen in the Big 12.
3rd and 4, they got to get to the 22. Raiola gets it out quick, complete, and that's going to be a 1st down. And his receiver, Barney, got twisted up. Had to contort his body, absorbing that blow. Picked up 6 the hard way, Roddy.
Yes, he did. Woo. It was hard after he caught the ball, but it was easy before. It was a ton of cushion between Ja'Cory Barney and the nearest defender. He just went to 4 yards, turned around and showed his numbers. Easy completion for the Nebraska quarterback, Dylan Raiola.
1st and 10. Keep it on the ground again. This is Johnson. And Johnson gets across the 25 to the 26. Corleone making the stop on the play. We got a flag down on the field as well. Good to see Corleone healthy once again for the Bearcats. Was slowed down last year due to a blood clotting issue. Here's the call.
After the play, personal foul, necessary roughness, offense number 59. Half distance to the goal. The down counts. 2nd down.
That goes against Henry Lutovsky, the offensive lineman.
The top right of your screen, just a little too much close to the whistle. Henry Lutovsky started all 11 games for him last year. This is one of the most experienced offensive lines in the country. And they're going to have their hands full with this Cincinnati front, but Lutovsky there getting a little too antsy early on. Got to control your emotions.
Is that because he hasn't hit anybody else for a long time?
Maybe. He's tired of hitting people in the same color jersey.
And a little draw. Emmett Johnson again on the carry. Sets up a 3rd down. Sanks making the tackle on the play. Ball spotted about the 16-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play. 3rd and 17.
This is where the freshman Dylan Raiola just has to be smart with the football. It's early in the game. If you drop back to pass, it's open, throw it, but don't try and force anything on a 3rd and long.
He's got Dane Key and Isaiah Hunter, number 6 and 13 respectively. A couple of dangerous new receivers. Got them out of the transfer portal. Barney in motion. Raiola with time delivers a strike. And that's going to be short of the 1st down at about the 24-yard line. So they'll have to punt. A 7-yard gain on the play to the tight end, Luke Lindenmeyer. So the Bearcats get a stop right.
And Mark, a couple of early penalties from the offensive lines of each of these teams really hurt the drives. And that's what coaches worry about in these first games. Controlling your emotions in a big game in a pro stadium, and on the other side, holding your water when you're facing a good defense.
Archie Wilson punts it left-footed this time. But you know what? He can actually punt it with his right foot as well. Cuffey with the fair catch on the 42-yard punt. We'll have more on the punter from down under on the other side of this commercial break.
turn 19 tomorrow. So I'm 18 right now.
So what's it like being first time you're away from them?
Yeah, that part's hard. I mean, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I love it a lot.
Sometimes we forget that these young men are 18, 19 years old, thousands of miles away from home in a foreign country. And there is a major adjustment to be made at times.
The response from Husker Nation, the support for Archie Wilson's been tremendous, though.
First down and 10 for Cincinnati. Underneath to the tight end, Joe Royer, the talented transfer from Ohio State a couple of years ago. Quinn has more on Archie.
Archie from Melbourne, Australia. Had never seen a football game in person. Coach sent him this week here to watch the Kansas City Chiefs preseason game. That's the first football game he has ever been to in his life in person. His parents have made the trip. Jessica and Lee, they are here. He's also got 3 friends from Melbourne, Australia who are here for this game. And because of that soundbite, he's gotten all sorts of NIL deals.
It's working out for him. More importantly, mom and dad able to watch him here tonight. Bearcats over the right side of that offensive line. A prodigious run that time by the transfer, Tawee Walker from Wisconsin. Got him out of the portal, and he moves the chains.
This is one of those situations where you don't have to win every block. Patrick Gird's going to come and block the blitzing corner, and it's really a stalemate, but that's enough to give Tawee Walker, the excellent running back, transfer from Wisconsin, as you said, enough space to get up the field and get the first down.
Under 8 minutes to go in the opening quarter. They still haven't targeted number 9, Jeff Caldwell, their highly touted transfer up the middle between the tackles again. It's Walker with a good gain, got about 9 on that play. How important is it, Roddy, for them to be able to run it between the tackles against that Nebraska front?
It's hugely important. It's a staple of Scott Satterfield's offense, those outside or mid-zone runs that start out and then cut back. And this is a Nebraska defensive line that's retooled. No Ty Robinson this year. So when you look at the interior, that's where the biggest questions are.
Off the play fake, Sorsby throws a dart, complete. Out of bounds. And that was to Cyrus Allen. Hey, our Labor Day weekend college football lineup, man, it's smoking. It rolls on tomorrow night. Deion Sanders in Colorado hosting Georgia Tech on ESPN. Our Saturday ABC triple header is capped off by the top 10 matchup between LSU and Clemson, and Sunday on ESPN. 2 more games, another primetime top 10 matchup. Notre Dame at Miami. Every game is also available on the all-new ESPN app. 10-yard gain on the previous play. Underneath, complete. That's to Patrick Gird. Hey, what about Michael Vick making his debut as a head coach?
Head coach at Norfolk State. They were taking it on the chin a little bit earlier when we were watching, but so cool to see he and Deshaun Jackson, 2 NFL greats, getting back into coaching, pouring back into the youth. This is going to be an awesome weekend. This weekend is one of those loosen the belt buckle, and it's just gorge yourself on the buffet of college football.
Yeah. Not moving from the couch. A lot of chicken wings and something in my red cup. Nothing happening that time. The big red defense evoking memories of the black shirts. Davis with the tackle up front. No gain on the play. Sets up 3rd down. With under 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, that was a nice play by the defensive tackle, Keona Davis. A little bit of movement caused it. But now Cincinnati, again, Brendan Sorsby's legs. That's what Nebraska has to contain. And probably in 4-down territory as well.
Caldwell, number 9, lined up to the bottom of your screen. An imposing target at 6'9". And we're going to get a timeout called. This was actually supposed to be a home game originally for Cincinnati. Huh.
ESPN Thursday Night College Football is presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And in part by Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
Against a sea of red, Sorsby had an opportunity. Well, he couldn't get that opportunity heard by his teammates.
Well, this is before the timeout, and the tackles are having to come in towards the center to hear what Brendan Sorsby's saying. It's supposed to be a neutral site game. This feels like a Nebraska home game.
Sorsby, and they're going to blow it dead. A flag down on the play. Going to be a motion penalty against the Bearcats here.
False start. Offense, number 56, 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Yeah, that was an easy one.
It was
noise induced again?
I would imagine so. It's noise or nerves, but either way, you're giving this crowd more energy. I mean, this is supposed to be a neutral site game. It started as a Cincinnati home game in Nippert Stadium, has evolved to a neutral site, quote unquote, in Arrowhead that feels very much like we're in Lincoln, Nebraska.
3rd and 9. Caldwell hasn't been targeted yet. Pressure off the edge. Sorsby can run it. Does, and gets down to about the 27. Sets up a 4th down for the Bearcats. A couple of yards to go. Picked up 7.
It was a great rush by Williams Nwaneri off the right side. He's right there. And Brendan Sorsby just feels the pressure, steps up, and makes something with his legs. He's a pretty dynamic runner. Really good athlete, and at 235 pounds is hard to bring down. A little surprised Scott Satterfield not thinking about going for it here on a 4th and 2, and instead setting up a 45-yard field goal.
Stephen Rusnak in from 45 yards out. The lefty has big-time range. This from 45. And he knocks it through. The Bearcats crease the scoreboard first and lead 3-0 with a little under 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. And this, the second meeting between these two schools. What does it do for the Bearcats to at least score here in the opening quarter in a hostile environment?
They've done a nice job of moving the ball. Both of their offensive drives, penalties have put them in 3rd and longs, and that at least got them in field goal range. I think it starts to take the crowd out of it. I mean, Nebraska's only had 1 possession in this game, and here we are with 4 minutes left in the first quarter. This crowd hasn't had a lot to cheer about. They've caused a couple of false starts. They haven't had a lot to cheer about since the game has started.
They went 8 plays, 38 yards, a little over 4 minutes on the clock to get that field goal. Patrick Mahomes watching this game tonight. Dylan Raiola, his protege on the field. I asked Raiola earlier this week during our meetings, what's the last text that he sent you? What did it say? He said, hey, we practiced on the field today, and I left the grass in pristine condition for you.
How about the newly engaged couple? Travis Kelce, we saw him on the field pregame with Taylor Swift, his fiance, in the building. Congrats to the newly engaged couple. It's a love story, baby. Just say yes.
I love it. Yes. I wonder how much he planned that out. I saw the pictures on the gram.
I mean,
he had the game plan, right?
According to his dad, this was something that he sort of just kind of did, not spur of the moment, but was kind of looking for the perfect time to do it. No. Dad said, hey, look, any time's going to be perfect. And they seem like a wonderfully happy couple. So congrats to them.
Joe Royer, tight end for the Bearcats tonight, actually eclipsed Kelsey's receiving record at Cincinnati. Huskers with the football. 1st down and 10. Emmett Johnson in at tailback. 1st down and 10. He's going to get the carry. Johnson kept those legs churning. Got a good block from Lindenmeyer, the tight end, and gained 11. 1st down.
This is one of the most experienced offensive lines in the country. And so leaning on this group to both protect Dylan Raiola in the pass game and to open up holes in the run game is going to be imperative for Nebraska this season. The amount of starts that this group has makes them a unit that Nebraska should be able to lean on.
Raiola gets it out into a tight window, complete at the 43-yard line to Hunter. One of those transfers, he came from Cal Berkeley, picked up 7 yards on the reception.
That throw was beautiful by Dylan Raiola, on time, and he is an absolute marksman against zone coverage. When teams drop back in zone, he's great at finding the soft spots, delivering on time and accurately, and you saw the talent and the processing speed on that last play.
Hand off into the boundary, goes to Mosey. Nowhere to go for him. He's going to lose about 2 yards. Well read by that front. Led by Dante Corleone. Well, this is one of the prevailing storylines for the Huskers coming into the season. Dana Holgorsen, former longtime head coach, now the offensive coordinator, has had an entire camp with the Huskers to install his system. And he loves everything he's seen from Raiola. Set to pass, completes it. Dane Key into Bearcat territory at the 47. The transfer from Kentucky made a nice move to get 11 yards, Roddy.
Once again, it's really soft coverage from Cincinnati on the outside. Corner bails at the snap. They're rolling the coverage. So it just created a ton of space in front of the corner. Dane Key just sits down right at the sticks. It's the second time we've seen an easy pitch and catch for a third down conversion.
And up again. Johnson this time. Another healthy gain as we take a look at tonight's Player Spotlight, brought to you by Lexus. Well, you might have a little bit of double vision. The same bandana. The sleeve game is about the same, right, Roddy? The number, of course.
The play sheet. I mean, even some of the celebrations and mannerisms are very much like Patrick Mahomes, and Dylan Raiola looks up to him and starting to try and play like him.
Raiola trying to run and scramble like him, brought down to the 43. And you know, his teammates say that he had the haircut before Mahomes had the haircut. And of course, Pat has tightened up the fade a little bit, lined it up a little bit.
I think Dylan follows suit.
That's a strong hairline right there, right?
It is a good hairline.
Crispy.
Look,
crispy.
Looking up to him, modeling yourself after one of the best players in the league certainly is nothing new. And that mentorship between the two is really cool. You saw that, tried to scramble there with some of the enhanced mobility. It's a big third down right here.
Under 90 seconds to go. On the quick slant, complete to Dane Key again. Got a nice pass from his roommate, Raiola. Of course, a little bit later in the game, Roddy will explain the similarities on the field between Mahomes and Raiola.
And it's a nice job just winning on a slant route by Dane Key. And Dylan Raiola actually started his eyes to the field, quickly shifted back to the boundary to find the matchup once he identified it was man-to-man coverage. A really good job by the young quarterback, understanding where the matchup is, getting a nice completion.
Lindenmeyer in motion. They hand it off over the right side of that offensive line. Nowhere to go. Nola Callard made the tackle on the play for Cincinnati, a 1-yard pickup. 33 seconds to go in the opening quarter.
Much more methodical and successful drive for Nebraska this time around. It's really been marked by the ability to run the football and those short, quick passes. Cincinnati, as you get closer to the end zone, they're going to have to tighten up that coverage to challenge these receivers a little bit more.
Incomplete behind his intended receiver, Hunter. And a big miss sets up a 3rd down and 9 for Matt Rule's team. You know, one of the points of emphasis for Raiola during the offseason was working on his body. And he was telling us that it was a deal where daily it was a 5 a.m. boxing session for about 30 minutes and then another 20 minutes of cardio. And this is before his group and team workouts.
And it's certainly paid dividends from the way that it looks. This is a big 3rd down. See if Cincinnati challenges more.
He had completed 5 in a row. This one in the air, incomplete. And Cincinnati's defense gets the stop. Good pressure from the Godfather, Dante Corleone. He made Raiola An offer he couldn't refuse, Roddy.
No, an offer that he had no shot but to accept. Dante Corleone forces potential field goal attempt for Nebraska when we come back.
You're watching Thursday Night College Football presented by Liberty Mutual. This is kickoff week, presented by Modelo. Dante Corleone is a force.
Watch this matchup. Henry Lutovsky, the guard, is 6'6", 320 pounds. But Dante Corleone is a grown man with a 485-pound bench press. Walks him back into the lap of Dylan Raiola and forces that incomplete pass.
Kyle Cunanan is going to attempt the field goal, a career long from 52 yards out. His longest is 49. Got it up in the air well. And he cashes out. A career-long field goal for Cunanan.
Matt Rule absolutely loves it. This is a team that had 7 kicks blocked last year, 2 of them field goals, 1 extra point. And Kyle Cunanan Does a great job of getting that up over the line of scrimmage and through the upright.
And I'm going to tell you this, Roddy, he might be, Kunanen, a candidate to appear on this week's Matt Rule podcast, which is appropriately named House Rules. Hey, coach has he's embraced the game. He's embraced the game.
He has. You know, it's funny because when he talked to us about it, he talked to the media about it, it's sort of the same story we heard from the NBA players that have started their podcasts, or the NFL players. I can answer the same questions I get in a press conference, but I can do it in my way. And the benefits of it are going towards Nebraska and their player acquisition pool.
Yes. A lot of those Nebraska players dapping up Coach Rule during the week, saying, hey, Coach, I saw you retweeted my post. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Nebraska with a new special teams coach this year, Mike Eckler, coming over from Tennessee.
Yeah, no problems.
Pleased as well.
No problems, Roddy, special teams-wise on that career-long field goal. Oh, boy. Did it go out of bounds first? It may have gone out of bounds first. Logan Wilson back there for the kickoff for the Bearcats. Let's get the call here.
The receiving team player was sent out of bounds. Kick out of bounds. Kicking team. First down to 35-yard line.
Yeah, they'll spot it at the 35 now.
So that ball may have bounced on the line, but no matter what, it's a really good job of stepping out of bounds and fielding that ball, because if the player's out of bounds and touches the ball's out of bounds. Isn't that right? We got Matt Austin, our rules expert. Matt, what'd you see there?
Yeah, Roddy, you're exactly right. As long as he's straddling that line, has his foot down on the white before he touches it, that's a kick out of bounds by Rule.
And thus they spotted at the 35, 1st and 10. Here's another look at it.
I think Matt Rule is arguing that he touched it before that foot hit out of bounds. It's bang, bang, but it's going to go as a kick out of bounds.
Sorsby hands it off to Pryor, and Pryor is brought down at the 36. Good tackle by Donovan Jones, 6'1" redshirt freshman out of Omaha. 2nd down and about 9 to go. Sorsby telling us a little bit earlier this week that it's about not trying to make the home run play or pass too many times for him. As he takes a shot on the post, incomplete, intended for Jeff Caldwell. So that's the first time they've tried to take the top off the defense. Buford back there defending, Roddy.
And he had Cyrus Allen on the wheel route, obviously down the field. Jeff Caldwell, the big receiver that they're excited about from Lindenwood, 6'5", 215. It's been a big addition, trying to take a shot downfield, but Brendan Sorsby missed an easy completion for a big gain to Cyrus Allen on the sideline.
Sets up a 3rd and 10. They go trips to the top of your screen, 3 receivers. Pass complete to Pryor, but that's going to be about 5 yards shy of the 1st down. Buford with the stop, and it's a 3 and out for the Cornhusker defense.
And Brendan Sorsby kind of got spooked by a twist from that Nebraska defensive front. Deshaun McCullough looked like he was going to come free up the middle. They picked it up late, but Brendan Sorsby decides to bail in the pocket. Gets the completion, but not enough for the 1st down. Gets stopped by that Nebraska defense.
Here's the punt. Barney back for the punt at the 15. And Barney covered up well there, right where he caught it on that 43-yard punt. Tied at 3 under the lights here at Arrowhead Stadium. Back after this break. Interestingly enough, here in Kansas City, only Rome, that's right, Rome, Italy has more fountains than the place where this game is taking place tonight. And, well, the Cornhuskers dipping into the fountain of youth with Dylan Raiola, only a sophomore. Trying to put some numbers and some passes together here. Tied at 3, just underway in the second quarter. Mark Jones, Roddy Jones, Quinn Kesnick down on the field on what is going to be a fantastic next several days of college football on ESPN and ABC.
That fountain trivia, I was floored.
That one got me. Raiola out of the backfield. It's Lindenmeyer as tight end. This guy is a wonderful story. I was on the flight from South Florida up to Kansas City with his mother and father, and Mom Cynthia told me that he was number 10 on the 2 deep a couple of years ago as a true walk-on. Since put on scholarship and doing a nice job. Picked up 5 yards. Emmett Johnson this time, close to the first down, setting up a 3rd and short. Can you beat 10th on the 2 deep?
I thought it was a 2 deep, not a 10 deep. But the Nebraska walk-on program, such a storied part of the history of this university and their football tradition. Luke Lindenmeyer, an example of that. And it's part of what people are afraid of losing with the new roster limits and ability to scholarship everybody.
They keep it. And that's going to be a first down. Hey, Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern time on ESPN and the all-new app. We celebrate the coach, Lee Corso's final college game day after 38 years from Columbus, Ohio, the site of #1 Texas and Ohio State #3. Also the site of the first time he donned a mascot's headgear, Brutus, to make a pick. And that was October 5th, 1996. Lee, we love you, brother.
Yes, we do.
Congratulations in your next chapter. Raiola hands it off to Mosey, and he's brought down after a gain of about 1.5 yards.
Man, this is a really good play by Antoine Peak from the middle of the field. Great job from that middle field safety spot, getting down and tackling the ball carrier for a short gain. Getting Nebraska into these 2nd and longs and not allowing them to run the ball well on first down. I mean, that's going to be one of the keys, because Nebraska started to find some rhythm running the football.
Second and 8, they have to get to the 37. Raiola with a clean pocket and delivers a strike. A rope complete to the 42 to Cortez Mills Jr.
And there's not a Cincinnati defensive back in the area code.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen these Nebraska receivers with a ton of space?
Picked up 13.
Around him and any defender. Excuse me, Mark.
Out to the 42. Off the play fake. Man coverage. Caught. And it's another first down, this time to Hunter. Well-placed football that time by Raiola.
It really was. And Isaiah Hunter doing a nice job up the field, being a little physical, maybe a little bit of a shove on that back shoulder, but not called offensive pass interference. And the deep ball is really the first shot we've seen Nebraska take downfield. I mean, they're kind of having it their own any way they want it in the pass game right now.
Coverage there by Daniel James. Hunter, the transfer from Cal Berkeley. They're going to keep it on the ground. And a seam over the right guard and right tackle that time for Emmett Johnson, who picks up 6. And Roddy, you can feel a little bit of rhythm now in this Cornhusker offense.
You can, and it's really come with them being able to run the football. The defense that Cincinnati plays, you typically get 3 defensive linemen and then 2 linebackers in the box. Well, Nebraska's got 5 offensive linemen and a tight end. That's 6 blockers for 5 defenders, and Nebraska's had success running the ball.
On the handoff, this is Johnson again. See where they spot this, close to the first down. Brian Sims middle linebacker making the tackle on this play.
So this is what I was talking about. Here are the 3 defensive linemen and the 2 linebackers. Cincinnati gets this safety involved to try and get another number in the box, but it's still a short game, or still a decent game for Nebraska offensively with those 6 blockers to block 5, and it sets up a 3rd and short.
A lot of responsibility on those safeties.
It
there,
is.
right?
They got to be great tacklers.
On the draw, they get the first down and then some. Emmett Johnson moving the pile, interminable energy, and moves the chains. 12-yard pickup. Let's go to Quinn.
Patience, the words of Dana Holgerson, like Guns N' Roses. Just a little patience against this 3-high safety look. Take what they give you.
They are nibbling away right now, and Johnson that time stopped up for a gain of about 1 on that play. Emmett Johnson, the 5'11 junior from Minneapolis. An extremely versatile tailback. Holgerson talked about his offense evolving a little bit. How would you characterize it?
Yeah, this is a guy who came up, was one of the innovators of the air raid, one of the creators of the air raid. 4 wide receivers, 3 wide receivers. We're seeing a lot of 2 tight ends and under center, stuff that he hasn't done in the past on this drive and in this game.
Bonner in motion on the jet sweep, and collared inside the 10-yard line by Saints.
Just to stay on that point, Mark, I think it shows that an innovative offensive mind can sometimes adjust what he majors in and still be successful, as we've got a Cincinnati player down.
Officials timeout for an injury.
And of course, one of the points of emphasis from the officials this year is if a player goes down after the ball is spotted, unlike the previous seasons, automatic timeout charged, and that player must come out of the game. Trying to cut down on some of the spurious injuries that have occurred in the past. I don't like using the word fake, Roddy.
I was picking up my phone to Google what spurious meant.
Counterfeit.
There we go.
Jonathan Thompson coming out of the ball game for the mandatory 1 play. We're looking at a 3rd down and 6. This, folks, is the 12th play of this Nebraska drive.
And a 3rd and long. A couple things to think about. Cincinnati has not played a ton of man coverage. This is a man coverage situation most likely, so it's going to be imperative for Dane Key or Ja'Cory Barney or Isaiah Hunter to win in man coverage to get open if indeed Cincinnati goes that route.
They've got to get to the 3-yard line for a first down. Raiola keeps it, throws it. Lindenmeyer, no signal. He stopped up short of the end zone, just inside the 1. Luke Lindenmeyer just dragged down shy.
What a play by Dylan Raiola. The threat of the run sucks up the defenders. He just tosses it out. This is an RPO, but it's a zone read RPO. He can hand it to the running back or keep it. He decides to keep it and then tosses it out wide. It's almost like the old school triple option that Nebraska ran in the 90s, just in the new age.
Tommy Fraser ain't coming through that door. It's a different number 15, Raiola. And we've got all kinds of linen down in the field.
False start. Offense, number 57, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So they'll move it back to about the 6-yard line.
Mark, I think that was going to come back anyway. I don't think Nebraska had enough guys on the line of scrimmage. I think it was going to be a 5-yard penalty no matter what, whether it was a false start or an illegal formation.
Interesting to watch Raiola's leadership voice burgeoning as now in his sophomore year. They keep it on the ground. Emmett Thomas stopped up inside the 5 by Jalen Hunt, who missed all of last season with a knee injury. No gain on the play. That's Bearcat front going to be tested. Hunt, Corleone, and Micah Coleman equal to the challenge on that last play.
Cincinnati a lot bigger up front. Jalen Hunt, 315 pounds. It makes that defensive line tough to move when there's only 3 different defensive linemen on the field. That is imperative for them to not get moved.
Key in motion, Raiola into the end zone on the fade, incomplete. Hunter ran out of real estate down the sidelines, and it sets up a 3rd down and goal. Good coverage by McDoom.
Man, he just sounds like a Bond villain. Mr. McDoom, yes. The cornerback. With great coverage, you're right. Sets up an interesting 3rd down.
They've remade their secondary this year, and they were equal to the task there.
They're going to have to come up big on this play. Watch Janarian Bonner. It's the H-back to the top of your screen.
Raiola surveys, under pressure. Incomplete, knocked away in the end zone. Logan Wilson, the converted safety, number 7, knocks it away. And the defense holds. In comes the field goal unit. And the former Bearcat tight end appreciative.
Travis Kelce loves the stop, especially after Nebraska gets down to, I think, 4th and inches, 4th and goal from the half-inch line. But the false start pushes them back, and then Cincinnati gets a big stop on defense. Good job by that retooled secondary of locking down the Nebraska receivers.
Kunanen had a career-long 52 on his previous try. This one from 22 yards out. And he drills it. But you'd have to consider that a win for Cincinnati's defense. Travis Kelce in the building, folks. Like what he saw in that last sequence. Back after this. Look at the Cincinnati Bearcats student section. The band in full effect tonight, but clearly outnumbered by the number of fans here from Nebraska. There's the Taco Bell Live Liv Moss student section. Only one student section can claim the title of Liv Moss Student Section of the Year. Who will take home the trophy this year?
I'd say based on the outfits, Nebraska's an early.
That's an easy one.
He's got to be an early leader in the clubhouse.
6-3 football game. You surprised by the low scoring so far?
It's been a low possession game, so not really when you look at it from that standpoint. Nebraska just had a really long drive. Cincinnati's had some long drives, so it's not really, but both teams having to settle for field goals.
Matthew McDoom is back deep. And he'll watch it go into the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Nebraska with its first lead of the football game.
Media timeout.
Yeah, McDoom is a dude that, yeah, that's a villain for sure, right out of Central Casting. McDoom never had an opportunity to return that kickoff as we take a look at some, well, interesting names throughout the years in college football. 6-3, second quarter. On the handoff is going to be Covey with his first touch of the football game. McCullough bringing him down. You know, I remember I Am Hip is my all-time favorite, former player in Nebraska. It doesn't get any better than that.
Dante Corleone's a pretty good one. And anytime he gets a sack, it may have been offer he can't refuse. You broke my heart, Fredo.
I know. I Am Hip is just so self-explanatory. Out of the backfield, complete, incomplete. It hit the ground. Covey was the target again. A quick third down coming up for the Bearcats, Q.
Here come the noise, guys. And Cincinnati's been using a silent cadence today. It'll be tested right now. Watch the right guard, Taran Tayo. He'll tap the center when the quarterback's ready. So the right guard looks back in the backfield. makes eye contact with the quarterback, and then taps the center. That also gives the defensive line an indication when the ball's going to be snapped.
There it is. They're 0 for 3 on third down up top. A well-placed ball, but dropped by Allen. Couldn't hang on to it. And there's a flag down on the play.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 53, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Well, noise obviously a factor here tonight.
They called that on the center, Gavin Gerhardt. I actually think it was the left tackle, Joe Cotton, that flinched. But that's the third false start by my count that we've seen from Cincinnati. And again, a neutral site game that is packed with Nebraska Cornhusker fans in the loudest stadium in the world.
Nebraska fans turning up the bass. Nwaneri with the good pressure on Sorsby, the quarterback.
This Nebraska defensive front has started to show up, but Cincinnati was trying to set up a screen on that last play. The only thing is Manny Covey, the running back, apparently didn't get the memo. He didn't give Brendan Sorsby anywhere to throw the ball. Took off up the field, forces a 4th and long.
Here's Max Fletcher, the true freshman Australian. Talked about him a little bit earlier. Rolls to his right. An end-over-end high punt. Comes down at the 40-yard line, or it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cornhuskers. A 39-yard punt. Nothing on the return.
Brings this Nebraska offense back on the field. 16 plays on that last drive for Nebraska. An offense that it's had great balance so far. 16 runs, 15 passes. They've done a great job on first down, running the football successfully. And Dylan Raiola has done a tremendous job of being patient with that 3-safety defense. 3 safeties back in the middle of the field, being patient, taking what's underneath.
They moved the ball well on the previous drive, but unable to get into the end zone, settling for a field goal. This is Johnson. Emmett Johnson with a nice burst across midfield down to the 47-yard line into Cincinnati territory. 11-yard pickup.
Another first down run that's successful. The right side of that offensive line especially has looked really good. And here's the hole. I mean, anybody can sort of get through that. I mean, it's giant on that right side of the offensive line that's starting to really feel themselves.
Raiola out to Johnson this time, and Johnson carried a couple of tacklers, ends up 1 yard shy of the first down, got 9. Nebraska with a couple of timeouts remaining.
I just think Dana Holgorsen is using his abacus to count the numbers that Nebraska has in the box versus the numbers that Cincinnati has. And you got those 2 linebackers, sometimes 3, those 3 defensive linemen, and you've got 6 blockers. When you go with 1 tight end, Nebraska has beefed up and gone with a couple tight ends here. Big time number advantage in the box.
12 personnel. It's going to be Johnson again, and as Raiola hands it off, it was interesting to listen to Holgorsen talk about how much they put on their sophomore quarterback in terms of calls at the line and getting them into the right play in the run game in particular.
And they talked about the fact that he's basically a coach's son. I mean, his dad was a phenomenal player at the University of Nebraska, played in the NFL, so he's got an incredible understanding of the run game and does a great job of getting them into the right run play at the line of scrimmage with those checks, and is really comfortable under center.
Matthew Stafford's godson.
There he goes, making a check at the line of scrimmage too, Mark.
Just as we were alluding to it. On the handoff, this is Nelson this time with his first touch of the football game, nowhere to go. And folks, we're very excited about this. The all-new ESPN app is the best way to watch sports. All of ESPN, all in one place with live games, live stats, plus you can track your fantasy teams and personalize with your favorite leagues, teams, and players. Had a chance to go through mine on my phone and figure out what's new, navigating things.
When I look at
When
I look at my screen time on my iPhone, the ESPN app is always #1 this time of year.
Approaching 2 minutes to go in the first half. Raiola with nobody in his face fires a dart, and it's incomplete. Intended for Ja'Cory Barney, who, if you remember earlier in the game, he took a big hit, but seemingly moving okay right now. And look at the total of plays right now.
I think that is really the Nebraska success in the run game coming to fruition. The early down runs that they've been able to create some advantageous second and third downs. In this sequence, Cincinnati got a first down stop in the run. Incompletion on second down, forces a third and long. Got to be able to get off the field. Dylan Raiola, they're going empty to try and give him a clear picture of if he's getting man or zone. A lot of pressure. A lot of guys are on the line of scrimmage.
Little pressure on the backside. They got to him. The ball came out. It's loose. It's on the ground. Big hit by Jonathan Thompson coming from the backside, and Nebraska recovered the football. They maintain possession.
Ruling on the field, the fumble recovered by the offense. This is the 2-minute timeout.
And there's a look at it.
Tremendous job from the backside of going for the hand of the quarterback and forcing the fumble.
Boy, Monte Whedon had a golden opportunity, but couldn't squeeze it. 4th and 12 coming up. That Cincinnati defense is impactful when it comes to turnovers and forcing fumbles. Welcome back, everyone, to Arrowhead Stadium. Looking at 4th down and 12. The Nebraska offense quickly up to the line of scrimmage. They're going to go for it.
I think you're trying to draw Cincinnati offside and then take the delay of game and punt the ball.
Now your crystal ball is working, bro. You already know. Roddy Jones on point. Let's go back to the studio.
Delay game. Offense. That penalty is declined. Still 4th down.
Cornhuskers punting now. Wilson with an end-over-end punt. The nose of the football down, and he perfectly places it inside the 10-yard line. So the Bearcats about 90-plus yards away.
I mean, up in the box. Here are our two lovebirds. Look at them. Just a couple of fans, couple of kids, and right here, that's what everybody's abuzz about. The ring that you can see from a mile away.
More carrots than a rabbit on that.
Looks like something that Jacob the jeweler would have.
Ooh, diamonds dancing.
I heard that cut of diamond is now like the most popular cut of diamond people are looking at on the internet. I'm not familiar with diamond cuts, but
that is not zirconia.
No.
Under 2 minutes to go. And Sorsby going to keep it. He's run the football a couple of times extremely well here tonight. Picked up about 8.5.
And a good first down play to get this 2-minute drive going. Cincinnati with all 3 timeouts. There's plenty of time on this drive.
On 2nd and 1, they set up the screen. And it's blown up complete to Walker, but they're going to lose a couple of yards right with the tackle.
Now if you're Nebraska, do you take a timeout? They do.
Good call and get the stop on 3rd down and get the ball back potentially.
They try and get the screen, but absolutely drilled by Javen Wright. Because that ball thrown behind the line of scrimmage, he can hit the receiver before the ball gets there, and it's not pass interference.
3rd down and 5 coming up for the Bearcats. Roddy, we were talking about it during the commercial break a moment ago, how we haven't seen Cincinnati able to utilize its receivers, especially Jeff Caldwell taking deep shots. Yeah, folks, this is how it happens here. How do they free up number 9?
I think it's freeing up all these guys. You know, this Cincinnati offense has to be able to run the football so that you can get one-on-one coverage on the outside. And then it's up to the receivers to win that one-on-one coverage. They haven't run the football consistently. And then the other side, when they've had one-on-one opportunities, they haven't been able to win. They talk to us so much about speed. We haven't seen that speed on display yet.
Yeah, 16 different players on the roster this year can hit 21 miles per hour or higher. I'm not sure Sorsby is one of them. He keeps the football, and it's going to be 4th down. Nebraska will get the football. Oh, let's see where did they give him the first down?
Looks like they did. They're moving the chains. But we don't have chains anymore.
Yeah, and a smattering of booze. Got a very auspicious spot. So Sorsby over the middle this time. And the ball comes out. It's punch loose. Cornhuskers have it. Singleton with the smash. What a hit. And they're going to rule it incomplete. But wow, a jarring hit here.
And the question with this is going to be, did he make a move coming into the game? Did he have the ball long enough for it to be considered a fumble and not an incomplete pass? It's bang, bang.
but in real speed, it looked like he didn't have the ball quite long enough for it to be a completion and a fumble. Matt Austin, what do you think?
I think incomplete's the right call. You have to have firm control of the ball, a body part down, and then have it long enough to make, as you say, a football move, which is tuck the ball away, turn to take extra steps, or turn upfield, or take additional steps. So I don't think he had time to do all three of those, or any one of them actually.
So Matt, it does look like he gets the ball tucked away, like on the initial grab. But in real speed, and we're showing it in slow motion, in real speed, it's a little bit less clear. How is the replay booth going about figuring this out? Are they doing it in the slow-mo like us, or are they doing it in real speed?
Well, they need to do it at real speed originally, just to get the timing element down. If it is truly bang, bang, then it's incomplete. But then they go to the process. Does he have firm control of the ball? Does he have the body part down? And then did he tuck it away, turn, or take additional steps?
Williams-Nwaneri made the fumble recovery. We'll see if it's going to hold up or not. The call on the field is an incomplete pass.
This is about as close as it gets, because, I mean, you slow it down and you can see there's that chop as he sort of tucks the ball away when he gets it.
And I'm glad Matt said that they actually do it in real time first.
Because when you see it in real speed, it is much less clear. And I think the call on the field being an incompletion is huge here, because can you confirm that it was a catch?
Still waiting for the officials to adjudicate this call.
After review, the ruling on the field has changed. It is a completed pass with a fumble recovered by Nebraska. It will be first and 10 Nebraska at the 24-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 1:03, please. 1:03.
What a turn of events. They felt like, the replay official felt like this was enough time to make that football move that Matt was talking about. And the tucking of the ball is probably what got them there. And I didn't think it was super clear, but what about the turn of events? I mean, Nebraska fumbles the ball, Dylan Raiola does. Cincinnati has a chance, an opportunity to pick it up. They don't. Nebraska recovers, is able to punt the ball away. And then after the conversion, Cincinnati fumble sets up Nebraska really nicely. 1:03 and a timeout.
Yeah.
You have an eternity starting on the plus 24.
Huge opportunity. Do they take a shot right away?
I don't think you have to. I think you stay patient. You let it come to you. You've got the ball and plenty of time.
Johnson in the backfield beside Raiola. Raiola to Hunter, makes the catch, and tight ropes down the sidelines into the 9-yard line. It'll be first and goal.
Saw that mobility from Dylan Raiola that he's been working on, moving up in the pocket, escaping after climbing, and then a nice delivery. Great patience, not forcing anything.
55 seconds to go in the half. Nebraska with one timeout remaining. Johnson between the tackles, brought down just shy of the 5-yard line. It'll be second down and goal for Nebraska.
Once again, the ability to run the football on a first down and get good yardage sets Nebraska up well, and they're doing a good job of milking the clock too. With one timeout, you're trying to make sure that you are the last team that has the ball in this half. No need to go fast. You can even run the ball again here if you want, and then call your timeout.
Back shoulder fade into the end zone. Touchdown, Hunter. He dropped off McDoom and went up and got the football.
Great hands from Isaiah Hunter, catching it right on the top of Matthew McDoom's helmet. That's what he was known for coming out of Cal, the catch and run, but also strong hands at the catch point, and he showed it there.
6th touchdown catch of his career. First one here at Nebraska.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under further review.
Let's bring in Matt Austin, our rules analyst. Matt, what would they be looking at on this play? What's the criteria?
Well, Mark, this is really close. It looks like he has control of the ball above his head. As he starts to bring it down, it looks like the ball comes loose between his two hands. Now, he does gather it back in, but did he do so before he stepped out of bounds?
I don't think he did.
This is a better look.
He gets his hands. There's the shifting, and then what comes down first? And it's that knee comes down out of bounds.
Actually, I think the toe comes down first. I think it's a catch.
I think you're right, Matt.
On the right foot, his toe hits right there.
I mean, I think that toe is down before that knee hits.
And at that point, he's got control of the football.
There's control of the ball up top, toe down. Tell you what, the replay official is he's had some tough ones to decide.
Yeah.
The question is going to be that firm control. We saw it on the other shot, though. It looked like the firm control was gained before that toe hits, and then it's toe, knee.
What do you think, Matt?
I think they should call this a touchdown because I really think he had firm control again. The fact that he took one hand off the ball and still had control with the other hand, I think that shows control. As you guys said, the toe was down first before the knee. I think that's enough for a catch.
A play like that, not usually a touchdown in this stadium. The NFL, you'd need 2 feet in, but not here in college. Let's get the call.
After further review, the ruling of a touchdown is upheld.
What a grab by Hunter, who amongst that sellout crowd has his mom and his older brother at the game here tonight. His older brother actually lives in Alaska, so it's been several years since he's had a chance to watch his younger brother play football.
And a great job, this Nebraska offense, turning the turnover into points going into halftime, and they get the ball first in the second half as well.
Special teams always a little bit of a question mark early in the season. Not this time. Hunanan knocks that through to make it 13-3 for the Cornhuskers. 3 plays, 24 yards, converting after that turnover.
And Mark, we've been wondering which group of transfer receivers would step up first, the Nebraska group or the Cincinnati group. And Isaiah Hunter, the transfer from Cal, coming in, providing some instant offense. His ability to go up and win a jump ball in the end zone. And it was a nice throw by Dylan Raiola, too, giving him a chance to go up and catch it. How about that in the second quarter? 13-0. A lot of it's been their ability to run the football and sustain long drives. But, I mean, the turnover, you can't forget that Cincinnati had an opportunity with a fumble by Dylan Raiola to get great field position. Doesn't happen. It turns into a turnover of their own, and Nebraska punches it in the end zone.
11 seconds to go in the first half. Nebraska pulling away a little bit here in the second quarter. Mark Jones, Roddy Jones, Quinn Kesnick down on the field on the great next few days of college football on ESPN and ABC. A fair catch called by the Bearcats at the 18-yard line. Hey, all 6 episodes of The Kingdom are available now, streaming on ESPN Plus and Disney Plus. The Kingdom takes an unprecedented look at the Kansas City Chiefs' legacy over 60 years of highs and lows, focusing on their incredible 2024 season.
A lot of those guys in that booth featured.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco. Dylan Raiola fired up after that touchdown pass. And the lead, 10 points going into halftime.
Sorsby takes the knee. That'll do it for the first half of football. You can hear Husker Nation. They've got most of the seats here tonight. They lead it 13-3 at the break. Kevin Connors, Sam Acho, and E.J. Manuel are going to be in the studio. They'll have it coming up right after this break.
You're watching Kickoff Week, presented by Modelo.
You're watching Thursday Night College Football, presented by Liberty Mutual. Folks, this is Kickoff Week, presented by Modelo. Under the lights here at Arrowhead Stadium. Second meeting all time between Nebraska and Cincinnati. Nebraska will have the football to start this third quarter. Mark Jones, Roddy Jones, Quint Kesnick down in the field. Hey, great weekend of college football coming up beginning tomorrow on ABC and the ESPN family of networks. Roddy, let's talk about this upcoming quarter now. What does Cincinnati have to do to get some of that momentum back?
I think they got to get first down stops when they're on defense to force Nebraska, into some third and longs. Nebraska was 6 of 10 on third downs in that first half. Conversely, Cincinnati 1 of 5 on third downs. A lot of it had to do with the third down penalties, 3 false starts. But you look at Cincinnati's success passing the football. Brendan Sorsby, 7 total completions for 20 yards in that first half. They need more production through the air.
Their defense will be on the field first. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Cornhusker 25. Let's go down to Q.
Dylan Raiola, the sophomore quarterback for Nebraska, just finishing up a bunch of sprints on the sideline, and then he gathered the entire offensive unit in a huddle and addressed them. And, you know, coming into this game, I think he was super excited. He said, I got to be calm and under control versus too excited. It's important to play well in this venue, as he's only 2.5 hours away from Lincoln. And this place, Mark, as you guys alluded to, is 99.9% Cornhusker fans. But to this moment, I think he's played a controlled game, and we haven't seen him get too excited.
Here he is on 1st and 10. Pressure coming. He got it out quickly to Dane Key. 4-yard gain on the play.
And Q, to your point, I think he did a really good job managing the emotions. Obviously, this stadium, the excitement coming in, the fact that he's playing in the stadium that is idle, and the guy who models himself after Patrick Mahomes plays in, he's done a nice job of being patient.
On 2nd down, out of the backfield, Ja'Cory Barney gets close to a 1st down.
You can, in pregame warm-ups, that's the time you try and get those jitters out.
Right.
And he's always pretty emotional and emotive in the pregame, but running out of the tunnel with the jersey on for the first time, the excitement was certainly palpable.
And his offense is going to pick up a 1st down here on 3rd down and short. With Patrick Mahomes in attendance tonight. Of course, mentor of Raiola and Travis and Jason Kelsey both here. Bearcat boosters. They got some kind of bet, right?
I would assume so, but I mean, Patrick Mahomes didn't go to Nebraska, so he's just here supporting the game and obviously a quarterback that he has a relationship with.
On the draw, this is going to be Emmett Johnson. Nowhere to go. Met by a host of tacklers led by Dante Corleone. It's going to be a loss of 2 on the play for the Cornhuskers. Corleone, of course, there he is, a 3-year captain, 335 yards.
Dante Corleone right there in the middle of your screen. Right there in the middle of your screen does such a nice job of pressing the offensive lineman back into the backfield.
Raiola over the middle, complete. Boy, dropped it in behind the linebackers in front of the safety. Dane Key with the catch, working against Matthew McDoom to pick up 15 yards. 1st down and 10 near midfield for the Cornhuskers.
Really nice anticipation by Dylan Raiola on that last play. Lets the ball go just before Dane Key makes an in-breaking route or breaks inside. That's good rhythm and understanding, being on the same page by our quarterback and a transfer receiver.
They're going to keep it on the ground. And Johnson is brought down for a gain of about 1. You think about some of the wonderful influences that Raiola has in his life. He talked to us about being around Calvin Johnson and, of course, Mahomes and John Kintna and so many other guys, to Matthew Stafford as his godfather. So many people to draw influence from. Oh, I forgot Tom Brady.
How did you forget that one?
Pass complete.
It's such an interesting story. And he was telling us about his development as a quarterback, and he was an 8th grader. John Kitna saw him throw a football and said, hey, man, we got to turn you into a quarterback. And so he learned the quarterback position from an NFL standpoint. His dad, obviously, longtime NFL player, Nebraska great. He's done a really nice job today. This 3rd and short, Nebraska's been so good converting these. This is probably 4-down territory if they get just a little bit and don't get the first.
It's Quinn Clark on the previous reception. And they're going to come up short. Emmett Johnson is going to be stopped 2 yards short. It'll be 4th down and 2 to go for Nebraska in an advantageous part of the field if you're thinking about going for it on 4th down.
And it'll be interesting. One of the tight ends, Heinrich Harburg, number 10, has been in the game a number of times, and he's actually run those quarterback sneaks. This 4th and short, he's lined up on the right side of that offensive line.
4th and 2, they go for it. Off the pressure, almost picked off. Wow. Logan Wilson darted in there, and boy, if he squeezes that football, he had nothing but, man, a buddy pass, a free pass to the end zone.
And this is something that Dylan Raiola has to clean up. Under pressure is where he struggled some a year ago. Free rusher off the edge, and the break on the football for Logan Wilson almost had a pick six. We'll show you when we get back on the other side.
Welcome back, everyone, to Arrowhead Stadium. 1st and 10 for the Bearcats, coming back the other way after getting the stop on 4th down against Nebraska. Sorsby completes the pass to his tight end, Joe Royer. Let's go back to that last play and what exactly happened.
Yeah, so Dylan Raiola is going to work towards the bottom of the screen. His eyes immediately go to this route right here with Dane Key. He doesn't like it, so by the time he goes back up to the top, pressure is going to be in his face, and he tosses the ball out wide. You got Logan Wilson making a great break on the ball, and if he catches that, there's nobody there. He probably had Heinrich Harburg if he'd have gone to the top first, but worked the bottom, and by the time he came back, the pressure got to him, and it almost cost Nebraska.
Just the stop that Cincinnati needed. Down by 10 just to start the second half here. Sorsby surveys and tiptoes out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. Picks up the first down. Sorsby able to use his legs that time. Went through his entire progression seemingly. Handed off, and a nice cut north-south by Evan Pryor. He picks up about 7 on the play, close to 8. Second down coming up.
Nice job by that Cincinnati offensive line, opening up the hole for Evan Pryor. This is where Cincinnati's offense can really have success, when they're starting to run the ball well.
They only had a handful of plays in that first half. Sorsby fires too high and behind Caldwell. They have yet to take advantage of his imposing frame at 6'5", and you talk about an athletic outlier. Roddy, he went 11 feet 9 inches on the standing broad jump in testing. Put that in perspective for me.
We're told that would have been the longest broad jump at the combine last year. I mean, that is special talent, but not quite on the same page as a transfer guy coming over with this quarterback. And that's what you run into with transfer receivers, not being on the same page as a quarterback when you get a corner blitz.
Sorsby dropped by Pryor. Took his eyes off it before he made the catch. Sets up a 4th down and 2.
Third down woes for Cincinnati continue. I think you're Cincinnati. They're leaving the offense on the field. I agree with it. I think you go for it here. And is this a situation where they use the legs of Brendan Sorsby? Pryor just starting to turn up before he catches the football. This is the one before the throw off, but it didn't seem like Jeff Caldwell was expecting it right there.
Going for it on 4th and 2. They option into the boundary. Sorsby picks up the first down. They move the chains. He's brought down at about the 34. Tackled by Nwaneri. 4-yard gain on the play.
That's a good job by Brendan Sorsby, understanding the down and distance, putting your head down and getting the first down.
Playing with a little bit of tempo right now too, as Evan Pryor stays on his feet and falls forward to the 29-yard line. He's their home run hitter. And they admitted that he probably didn't get enough touches last year in terms of running the ball for the Bearcats.
For an injury.
That's Keanu Davis,
player.
injured Nebraska player.
He's had a nice game so far. I think this Nebraska defensive front, while different than a year ago when they had those 2 incredible defensive tackles, had to be much more mobile. And they're going to look to try and force a 3rd down on the other side when we come back.
A Sunday volleyball triple header begins at noon Eastern on ABC, featuring #1 Nebraska against #7 Kentucky. Nebraska got a big win against Sanford a couple of nights ago as Coach Matt Rule went in and attended that game. Big supporter, big fan.
Yeah, Danny Busboom Kelly off to a great start in her first year as Nebraska head coach. That Kentucky game's going to be fun.
Yes.
Brooklyn delay is must-see TV for the Wildcats.
Here we go on 2nd and 6 for Cincinnati. They run it into the boundary off tackle. And another first down by Tawi Walker, the transfer from Wisconsin. He's backing up Evan Pryor, picks up 7 with that carry. He's a chain mover.
He is, and Cincinnati started to find success in the run game. It was a nice lead block by Patrick Gerd, the tight end Ohio State transfer. And Cincinnati's really found some rhythm offensively.
From the 22, on the reverse, wide open, got a blocker down the sideline too. Allen pushed out of bounds right around the 7-yard line. Cyrus Allen, the speedy transfer from Texas A&M, picks up 15.
I mean, watch the contain. Defensive end crashes down. Everybody's going to the outside to the right. And Cyrus Allen on the reverse. Great time to call. Really nicely timed call by Scott Satterfield for the chunk play on the ground.
This is the deepest they've been in Nebraska territory all night. Sorsby keeps it. Got a blocker. Airborne. Touchdown. Sorsby soaring for the score. And the Bearcats right back in this football game. That's his 14th rushing touchdown of his career. And the silence here at Arrowhead is deafening. At this, the quote-unquote neutral site football game. It's a 3-point game. Roddy, they were intentional and purposeful about running the football well here.
Consistently, Brendan Sorsby's legs were a big part of that. Gets a couple blockers out front. Sorsby fired up. Cincinnati cuts the deficit to 3. Feels like momentum's on their side.
Welcome back, everyone, and now let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Verbo. Big one coming up between Texas and Ohio State, noon Saturday. That's where game day will be. And then a whole menu of games, including Miami and Notre Dame, Sunday at 7:30 on ABC. On the return, this is Kenneth Williams. And Williams brought down right around the 20-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Dylan Raiola.
It's a big response drive, I think, for Nebraska. After really controlling that second quarter, outscored Cincinnati 13-0 in that second quarter. Had the almost pick six, and then Cincinnati really established the run game. And if you're Nebraska, when you had success in the first quarter, it was those first down runs that really were the catalyst for those good drives.
Yeah. Emmett Johnson in at tailback. Raiola under center. Wow, a drop pass by Emmett Johnson, setting up a 2nd down and 10.
That's the guy that caught 39 passes a year ago, which was most for a Nebraska running back since 2007. Usually pretty sure-handed, and that one hit him right in the hands.
Yes.
I often feel for my running back brethren when we drop passes and make excuses, but that one that's a tough one to defend.
Raiola's completed passes to 8 different receivers tonight. Here's Johnson seeking a measure of atonement and redemption with a spirited run. 1st down, Xavier Williams with the tackle.
How about Dylan Raiola today, showing his ability? He talked about changing his body, making himself more mobile while escaping the pocket, getting up the field. He's done a really nice job with his vision today, working from one side of the field to the other, delivering on time. He's shown the tools that could make him very special.
Steps up in the pocket, completes it to his tailback Johnson. Eluded one would-be tackler, brought down for a 4-yard gain. Taden Barnes making the tackle for Cincinnati. Setting up a 2nd down. 6 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. What's it like for a young quarterback moving from his true freshman year, like he was last year, to a sophomore now, and really being able to take control of the huddle?
Yeah, I think the leadership aspect of it and the belief and confidence that you can do it at this level is probably the biggest difference. But knowing what he needed to work on is big for Dylan Raiola, too.
Hands it off to Johnson across the formation and nowhere to go. Brought down by Golday. Jake Golday, the 5th-year senior.
Dante Corleone makes such a big difference in this defense. When he's been out, feels like that's when Nebraska's had more success running the football. Just clogs up so many holes and doesn't often get the credit. Jake Golday makes that tackle, but Dante Corleone forced the running back to bounce outside and set up this 3rd and 6. Looks like off coverage from Cincinnati.
Got to get to the 47. Quick out, complete, and brought down shy of the 1st down is Bonner. Sure tackling by Sanks on the play, setting up 4th down.
I mean, Jaquan Sanks does a nice job of coming from depth, breaking on the football, and bringing down Janiran Bonner. I mean, he's lined up way off the ball. That break is tremendous, sees it right away, and then makes a really nice open field tackle. Nebraska thought about going for it. Kind of like the decision to punt. Cincinnati had momentum on that last offensive drive.
The Australian Archie Wilson with his 3rd punt. Rolls out to his left. Fair catch called back of the 14 by Manny Covey. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bearcats from there after that 41-yard effort. Sorsby, who looked as good as he has all game on that previous drive, with opportunity to follow it up here. 10 plays, 57 yards for the touchdown. He ran it in for the score. 4:11 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Cincinnati trying to snap a 5-game losing streak, folks, that goes back to last season. They started off 5-2 and ended the year on a 5-game losing streak. Trying to take that bilious and odious taste out of their collective mouths. Chance Williams in the backfield. Out to the 19-yard line. Nice gain over the right guard, Darren Yayo.
They've started to find some success with that mid-zone play that Scott Satterfield loves to run, has run it for years going back to his App State days. When they can get that going, you can play action off of it. You can roll Brendan Sorsby. You can get some crossing action, some split zone action, and dump it into the flat. It just really opens up this playbook.
They fake the toss, batted down, and almost intercepted. Wonderful play by McCullough. Hassan McCullough got his hands up vertically and knocked that pass down.
He's 6'5", and the reach is what knocks this ball down. Brendan Sorsby thought he could get it over the top of the defensive end. Couldn't do it, and it almost ended up in the lap of Hassan McCullough, but a 3rd and 6 here. Brendan Sorsby's legs have been the biggest weapon on 3rd down for Cincinnati today.
Caldwell is split wide to the bottom of your screen. The 6'5" transfer from Lindenwood. Sorsby looks back the other way, now going to try and take out his do-it-yourself kit, and can't. He's going to be stopped up right near the line of scrimmage by Van Poppel. Riley Van Poppel, the son of Todd, former Major League pitcher. And they get the stop, Nebraska does.
And this is Cincinnati trying to communicate pre-snap. He's got to talk to the right tackle, talk to the left tackle, get in the ear of the running back because of the noise. And then the play kind of looked like they weren't all on the same page. They fake a screen to one side, try and throw it to the other. There's nowhere to go for Brendan Sorsby. It forces the punt.
Fletcher with his 4th punt of the day. Barney going to watch it bounce and carry him all the way down to the 33-yard line, where it'll be 1st down and 10 for Raiola after that 48-yard punt. Nebraska finished 7-6 a season ago. Got to a bowl game for the first time in pretty much a decade. Trying to build on that success. When you speak to the coaches, they see opportunity this year.
Well, you've got experience on the offensive line. You've got experience at quarterback and a guy who has the talent to be one of the best in the country. Matt Rule has had success in 3rd years, making the championship game in his 3rd year at Temple and his 3rd year at Baylor. We'd love to see it here.
On the jet sweep. Great cut north-south. Barney lost the football. It came out. And they're going to have to bring this back on the spot. It'll be at the spot of the fumble.
The one on was the field that the runner was down prior to the ball coming loose.
They would say he was down.
And it was clearly down before the ball came loose, but it was a hand on the thigh from Christian Harrison that kept Ja'Cory Barney from taking that thing to the house. I mean, I know Ja'Cory Barney's 170 pounds, but you got to be stronger through that. That can't take you down.
Raiola over the middle, met immediately on the catch was Emmett Johnson. Dingle making the tackle on the play. Back to Ja'Cory Barney. You may have seen the viral video of him scaling the walls of Husker Stadium. Yeah, you heard that right, folks. He looked like Spider-Man climbing up steel girders with very good pace and speed.
I mean, going an inch and a minute would have been good pace and speed for scaling that thing. He flew up there.
On the handoff, Johnson upended after a gain of about 1 on the play by Saints. Let's go down to Q for more.
Well, we're not talking about a guy who climbed 8 to 10 feet, Mark. It was more like 3 floors worth.
Yeah.
The strength, the balance, the confidence. Wow.
I can't imagine when Matt Rule saw that he was thrilled. I mean, the athleticism's impressive, but I don't want one of my star receivers climbing 30 feet vertically on a steel beam.
Hey, better to ask for forgiveness than permission. Nelson in the backfield. On 3rd and 6, trying to convert. Under duress, and he escapes. Raiola lunging to the 40-yard line. And there's some of that increased mobility and agility that maybe he didn't have last year. He's reworked his body. Gain of 9.
Well, you're going to have a little bit of games up front. And Dylan Raiola does a nice job of escaping an arm tackle, showing the strength. And you don't need to be a burner. He's not trying to be Lamar Jackson. He's trying to be like that guy, Patrick Mahomes. Functional mobility to get you a first down when you really need one. It's not quite the athlete that Mahomes is, but I worked on that one.
And now we're looking at 1st and 10 from the 41, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter of play. Cornhusker fans have traveled some 3 hours south to Kansas City to watch their team in this opener. 15 minutes to go. Number 15 did work, and that's no gibberish. He sowed the seeds of that option. No quirk, just a dish. In fact, he was tailor-made, so cease with throwing mad shade. Husker Nation claim it wasn't an antiquated system, but more of a mesh of talent and wisdom. A scarlet and cream legend to admire. Tommy Frazier slyly took us higher. A real maestro in that triple option. Tommy Frazier wore the same number that this young man is wearing right now. So many greats through the years. Part of the Husker football program. That pass complete to Hunter. And you think about names like, Lamont Green and the Peters brothers. So many more at Nebraska. And this one might be the latest.
I mean, I think his leadership has been evident today. This between the third and fourth quarter, gathering this team, breathing life into them, trying to press upon them likely the importance of this drive. Really shown his leadership today.
Lindenmeyer in motion. Raiola with plenty of time and wisely throws it away.
Very mature play by Dylan Raiola there. I mean, Cincinnati dropped numbers, and he's usually so good at picking apart zone coverage, but nothing there. Cincinnati in these situations has started to become more aggressive, though. Bringing pressure against Dylan Raiola, playing tight man coverage. What does Dana Holgorsen have to dial up to try and get this first down and beat that man coverage potentially?
Going back to last year when he was a true freshman, the numbers prove that he was not as proficient against man as he was against zone coverage. Comes underneath this time. The catch made by Barney. And that's going to be close to a first down, 5-yard gain. And picks up the first down.
Cincinnati only brought 3. And Dylan Raiola with the time able to find the crosser coming in front of his face and delivers an accurate football. It's good patience from the quarterback, but when he's had time, he's been very good today.
Emmett Johnson in the backfield. Cincinnati bringing a little bit of heat. Raiola got it out, but good tackle immediately made in the secondary by Christian Harrison on Emmett Johnson. No gain.
It's Monte Whedon right here that gets the pressure. Able to get past the center. And honestly, Jack Golden coming off the edge there too. Really forced him off the spot. They're trying to take a shot down the field. Cincinnati had it well covered. Hard play action, and Cincinnati was not fooled by the early down call.
Sets up 2nd and 10. Johnson motions out of the backfield. Raiola completes it to his tight end. Lindenmeyer finally pushed out of bounds and moves the sticks again. Luke Lindenmeyer, who this past summer down in South Florida got together with his speed coach and worked on his wheels a little bit. And you saw some of the dividends paying off there.
And this is the arm angle from Dylan Raiola. That's something that these quarterbacks now work on from a young age. Ability to throw from over the top, from the side, gets it through the hole in the offensive line. And Luke Lindenmeyer's had a really nice game. Has made some timely plays. And when Cincinnati has given Dylan Raiola those underneath throws, those short throws, he's been an absolute surgeon.
Raiola over the middle, caught again by his tailback. Johnson out of the backfield, brought down at the 6-yard line. A 5-yard pickup by the Huskers. Johnson comes out of the ball game. Nelson comes in.
Comes again, a little sidearm delivery. That's a little
drop down, baby.
We talk about Patrick Mahomes doing it, but Matthew Stafford was one of the best. Flicking that thing sidearm, and he's obviously got a great relationship with Dylan Raiola.
11th play of the drive coming up. Trying to get to the edge is Bonner, and he's chopped down by Logan Wilson. And Bonner slow to get up, hobbling off the field. He took a hit.
The ball was fumbled forward out of bounds. It will be returned to the spot of the fumble.
Sure was. Fumbled forward out of bounds. I think that hit on his knee. Oh, yeah, that right leg. Ow, that looked uncomfortable.
Yes. Remind me of Willis McGahee against Ohio State years back. On 3rd and 4. And Nebraska calling a timeout. They burn one of their 3 remaining timeouts. Matt Rule trying to be a little bit more successful in one-score games going back to last year. Now let's take a look at tonight's game flow, brought to you by Progressive.
Tell you what, the Godfather came to play early on, taking a 320-pounder and planting him in the backfield, disturbing Dylan Raiola. But Emmett Johnson has found some success. 21 rushes, over 90 yards on the day for the Nebraska running back. He's been an absolute workhorse. As Nebraska has had some issues with drive stalling, this is the touchdown to Isaiah Hunter. Cincinnati early in the second half getting some stuff going on the ground. Brendan Sorsby diving into the end zone. But now this Cincinnati defense, big third down here inside the 10-yard line.
They can get a first down without scoring a touchdown. 21 didn't get it done. Got stopped up 3 yards shy of the first down. Fourth down, what would you do, Roddy?
I think you're going for it here. Let's see where they spot it. 4th and 3. Yeah, I like going for it because even if you don't get it, you pen Cincinnati back deep and you're playing the field position game. If you do get it, then you are really making it tough for Cincinnati down the stretch.
Analytics say go.
I love it when Rodalytics matches up with analytics.
The Georgia Tech math right there. Here we go. They failed earlier on fourth down. Raiola, touchdown! Dane Key with a key play.
Watch the eyes of Jack Golday in the backfield, and then Dane Key is just going to slip right behind him. Beautiful fake by Dylan Raiola. It's behind the linebacker, and you can see on the edge the dismay by the corner. I believe that was Kai Stokes.
An impressive drive. And the 15th touchdown pass of Dylan Raiola's career. For the transfer from Kentucky, Dane Key, that was his 15th touchdown reception of his career. And they got a boost of energy on that Cornhusker sideline. Pinpoint and precise for the score.
ESPN Thursday Night College Football is presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Look at the Hall of Fame, the Negro Baseball Hall of Fame here in Kansas City. Had a chance to walk over there a little bit, observe some of the wonderful, rich history of black baseball players in this country. And Raiola here, his uncle Donovan is the O-line coach. I got you. Way to go, nephew.
Way to go, nephew. And that's
the family.
The group that he grew up around. It's why you come and play at Nebraska, where your dad's a legend, your uncle's the O-line coach.
He had initially committed to Georgia, right? Then decommitted. Comes out of the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 for Cincinnati from their own 25-yard line, down 10 points with 10.5 to go. And is there another rapid response from Brendan Sorsby?
Brendan Sorsby has not had anything going through the air today. 24 yards passing for the Cincinnati offense that brought in 3 transfer receivers that they were really excited about. There's been no explosiveness out of this Cincinnati pass game. Really no consistent production. It's been mainly the rush, and Brendan Sorsby's legs have been his biggest weapon.
Hands it off to Walker, the transfer from Wisconsin. Cuts it up north-south and picks up about 7.
Tyree Walker, to being down on the field pregame, that is a built young man.
He slapped together.
He got muscles on top of muscles.
2nd and 4. Gets another opportunity here. And moves the chains and moves the pile. Got about 11 on that carry. Walker has been a great teammate, earned a lot of praise from his new teammates in Cincinnati on his adjustment. Sorsby going to take off. He'll get the first down, still on his feet. Sorsby slides in safely at the 26-yard line, and in a blink, they're on the edges of the red zone.
Cincinnati has gone with tempo a number of times and did it on that touchdown drive, and they have done it here as well with great success on both.
That's the longest run of the day, 29 yards. And another nice gain down to the 18 by Walker. Got a good block from Gerhardt on the offensive line, the center. One of the leading voices up front.
So this is the the long scramble. The linebacker clears out with Tyree Walker, and there's nobody in the middle of the field for Brendan Sorsby to contend with.
On the quick out, complete. Caldwell couldn't get away from the DB, brought down almost immediately. Jeff Caldwell has been bottled up tonight. Andrew Marshall doing the honors, limiting that gain to 4 yards. 2nd and 6. Evan Pryor back in the ball game for Walker. In the backfield. Caldwell lines up to the top of your screen. Sorsby pulls into the end zone, got a man, knocked away at the last moment, well defended by Hartzog Jr. Cyrus Allen appeared to be open. The ball hung just a little bit, Roddy.
It did, and it was a little underthrown, but Cyrus Allen, you got to come down with that. It hits you right in the shoulder pad. You got to make that catch. Brendan Sorsby saw the pressure, threw the one-on-one fade, falls right in the breadbasket, and that's been the difference. Cincinnati's receivers have not made plays today.
Bearcats are 1 of 7 on 3rd down tonight. Sorsby going to do it himself, and he picks up the first down safely inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal for Bearcats.
You're going to get a little bit of a game here. 2 slants this way, and then the defender wrapping around. And Javen Wright has a free run at the quarterback, but Brendan Sorsby moving in the pocket. Again, his legs absolutely break the back of this Nebraska defense. And if you're Nebraska, make anybody else other than Brendan Sorsby on the ground beat you.
First and goal. Hits his receiver quickly. Royer reaching for the end zone, won't make it. Brought down inside the 1-yard line. Joe Royer, who's a Mackey watch list candidate. 2nd and goal coming up.
You got a 235-pound quarterback that's only thrown for 33 yards today. I don't think this is very hard. Not expected to be Brendan Sorsby.
Keeps it and scores it. Sorsby. And Cincinnati with a wonderful response to make it a 4-point game. Boy, that was impressive.
It was a great use of tempo as well, Mark. The tempo caught Nebraska off guard a couple of times, but the legs of Brendan Sorsby, tremendous. You fake the handoff, and you get one-on-one with safety in the hole. You're not bringing down 235 at the 1-yard line from the safety spot.
Marcus Buford going just 190. He got the too little treatment that time from Brendan Sorsby. An impressive, metronomic, methodical drive by the Bearcats. 9 plays, 75 yards. and they're not going away. Great finish coming up when we come back to Kansas City. A moment ago, Patrick Mahomes figures he'll watch the rest of the game on the drive home on the ESPN app. All ESPN, all in one place.
Tremendous.
I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing.
I would imagine he's going to be locked in.
Got a flat screen in the TV in the car, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Dapping up Travis Kelce. Brittany, his wife, dapping up Taylor Swift on the way out. They have practice tomorrow.
Hey. After that great response by the Bearcats, this is Kenneth Williams on the kick return. Brought down shy of the 20-yard line with 7:09 to go here in the fourth quarter. In the season opener for both these teams, the all-new ESPN app is here, folks. And for the best experience, all you need to do is follow these 3 simple steps.
First, you'll need the ESPN app on your connected TV or favorite device. If you have it, open it up. If you don't, download it now. Next, click on the live event or ESPN show you want to watch. Then choose your TV provider and log in. You're all set. It's all of ESPN, all in one place. Go to support.espn.com to learn more.
Let's see what kind of response Nebraska has to Cincinnati's response. Raiola completes it to his tight end, who he's targeted several times tonight with productivity. Lindenmeyer, he didn't have any offers coming out of high school. He only had one, actually, and it was from Army, the service academy, where both mom and dad attended school and met. But he's had a pretty productive night catching the football. And it's his 5th catch.
Because most of the time he's covered by Cincinnati safeties who are 10 yards off the ball, so there's a lot of room for him to work underneath, and Dylan Raiola has been patient in delivering him the ball.
2nd and 2. Raiola fires another strike. for first down out to the 36 to Dane Key.
Well, what you call a free access throw, corners way off and then bails. Dane Key just on a little speed out.
9-yard gain.
That's easy money if you're a quarterback. Pitch and catch, the read's simple, and this is what Nebraska needs. They need a long, sustained drive. Put this game away.
Never go broke taking a profit. Under 6 minutes to play. Raiola with plenty of time, no rush. Pass to the sidelines complete, caught at the 43 by Hunter. Well, Key and Hunter, the two transfer portal guys that are making a nice contribution tonight. That time Hunter picking up 8.
Isaiah Hunter had the big touchdown catch on a contested fade ball. Dane Key, the big 4th down touchdown catch. They produced.
Out of the shotgun this time, it's Johnson picks up another first down. Interesting time to note. With a little over 5 minutes to go in a 1-score game, during Matt Rhule's tenure at Nebraska, the Huskers are just 3-10 in 1-score games. Trying to change the beat here tonight.
The only way to get that reputation extinguished is to start winning them consistently, and that's going to be big for a Nebraska team that has high aspirations this season.
They keep it on the ground, and Emmett Johnson has been a battering ram between the tackles tonight. Another nice gain, brought down by Gola Collard.
The left side of this offensive line is going to do a nice job, but watch the cut by Emmett Johnson. And the left side caves it down, jumps outside, and then plants and gets back in. It's great patience behind the line of scrimmage by Emmett Johnson, knowing that he could hug that offensive line. Almost.
That's at 3-10.
Win.
That's at 3-10 in 1-score games, I think. I think that's what he's alluding to. Meanwhile, Johnson going over 100 yards on that last carry. 24 rushes for 105. And doing a nice job catching the ball out of the backfield that time. Collard making another tackle. Under 4 minutes to go. 3rd down coming up. And a pivotal play coming up for both these teams.
Question for Nebraska is, do you keep it on the ground or do you allow Dylan Raiola to try and make a play with his arm? I wonder if they're going to give him the opportunity to make a check at the line of scrimmage to try and get him the best play. Under center here, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the play action.
He's connected on his last 9 passes. They keep it on the ground. Johnson got the first down with that second effort. He has been indefatigable tonight, tireless. Our Labor Day weekend college football lineup rolls on tomorrow night. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime in Colorado, hosting Georgia Tech on ESPN, and the Fighting Roddy Joneses. Our Saturday night ABC Triple Dip capped off by the top 10 matchup between LSU Clemson Sunday on ESPN. 2 more games, another primetime top 10 matchup between Notre Dame and Miami. Every game also available on the all-new ESPN app.
A lot of excitement around that Georgia Tech team this year.
On the toss, the jet sweep. Nowhere to go that time for Barney. Brought down for a loss of about 2 on the play. Cincinnati has its full complement of 3 timeouts remaining.
Timeout. Cincinnati.
And they're going to burn one right here.
And they've
30
lived
seconds
in
in
Cincinnati territory. Notable on that 3rd and short, Mark, Dante Corleone not on the field, and that ball was run right up the middle in that Cincinnati defense. But Matt Rhule, if his offense is able to get a first down here, you're not going to be able to burn it all the way down, but you're taking a big step towards winning this game. And Scott Satterfield trying to save the time, wisely calling a timeout. 2:30 left. You've got 2 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout still to come. So you should get the ball back. If you can get a stop, you should get the ball back with a lot of time left.
Emmett Johnson has been prolific running the football tonight for Nebraska. The junior out of Minneapolis.
This offensive line really got cooking in that 2nd quarter.
And since then, it's kind of been a numbers game when you've had light boxes, less people for Cincinnati around the line of scrimmage and in the box than Nebraska has to block. They've handed the ball off to the tune of 25 rushes for 108 yards.
They'll be able to use that in November in conference play in the Big Ten.
Yes, they will.
2nd and 12. Raiola steps up and he's sacked back in their own territory at the 47 by Golday. They brought numbers that time and got to the quarterback.
Cincinnati.
So it's 3rd and long coming up. And another timeout called by Cincinnati.
Jake Golday's had a nice job off the edge. Dante Corleone pushing the pocket from the middle. There's nowhere for Dylan Raiola to step up, and Jake Golday gets the sack. Now 3rd and 20. I mean, this drive started off with so much success, and they've had so much success running the ball. I don't love the sequence of plays that we've seen on the last two.
What in particular?
Well, you had the jet sweep going to the outside. They started to go east and west, tackle for loss. And then you try and throw the ball when it's 2nd and long. There's nowhere to go with the football. It's probably better than an incompletion, to be honest.
Right.
The sack is, because at least Cincinnati has to burn a timeout. But I mean, take a miracle to get the first down here. If you're Cincinnati defensively, just no penalties on this play.
Cincinnati has registered 3 sacks tonight against Nebraska. Nebraska has not gotten to Sorsby on the other side of the ledger. Here we go, 3rd down and 19. They've got to get all the way to the 32-yard line to get the first down. Raiola surveys, comes underneath, checks it down, and that's not going to be enough. Emmett Johnson took it down to the 46 of Cincinnati. It'll be 4th down. The Huskers will punt. With 2:16 to go, the Bearcats will get another opportunity.
Cincinnati, their 3rd and final. Timeout.
The strategy of timeouts with the 2-minute timeout now is fascinating, because Cincinnati could have taken it to the 2-minute timeout and saved that last timeout so that you had it on that final drive. But Scott Satterfield opting for that extra 16 seconds. You'll get a punt and then likely one play before that 2-minute timeout, but you have to operate the rest of the game with no timeouts but extra time on the clock. So it's just interesting talking to coaches about what they would do in that situation.
Do they keep analytics on those scenarios too?
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, they've got teams of analytics people that what is the optimal way to operate with our timeouts late in the game. So Scott Satterfield, maybe he's going with that, maybe he's going with his gut and his quarterback.
Well, into punt is Kyle Cunanan. Archie Wilson, pardon me, punting. Wow. And he hit it inside the 10-yard line. The 19-year-old from Australia, who has mom and dad in attendance tonight. They've made the long trip to watch him play for the first time. And boy, that was a clutch punt.
It was. For his first football game ever played in. He's had a nice day punting the football. Now the scenario for Cincinnati, no timeouts, 2 minutes, 10 seconds on the clock. Need a field goal to tie it. Only thing that will stop the clock before the 2-minute timeout, so in the next 10 seconds, would be an incomplete pass. And then after, you get a stoppage to set the chains after first down or out of bounds. Joins the list of things that stop the clock.
And here we go, 2:10 to play. Cincinnati with a chance. Sorsby out of the empty formation. Runs it himself out to about the 19. They're going to mark it short of the first down as we get to the 2-minute timeout after the gain of 8. And the Brain Trust will discuss the plan with no timeouts remaining. all too familiar. Close games haven't worked out their way as Sorsby bullets the pass complete beyond the 30 to Cyrus Allen to move the chains. They're out of timeouts. They have to move expeditiously here. 14-yard gain. And they've gone tempo. They've done well tonight. They've gotten results. Sorsby incomplete for his tight end Royer. And that stops the clock with 1:47 to go.
Nebraska has to keep Brendan Sorsby in the pocket. Make him beat you with his arm. They have not proven, these Cincinnati receivers have not proven that they can get open consistently. Brendan Sorsby still under 50 yards passing for the game, but his legs have been a killer. You have to keep him in the pocket.
2nd and 10. Pass is complete just shy of the 40 to Cyrus Allen. 8-yard gain on the play. 3rd down coming up. Donovan Jones defending. Oh, wow. Joe Cotton. That's how they started the night.
I think it was Joe Cotton and Evan Tangus-DeHall.
The noise a factor.
False start. Offense, number 50, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down. This foul includes a 10-second runoff. Please reset the game clock to 1:16, please. 1:16.
And because the clock was running during that false start, you get a 10-second runoff. The penalty is what stopped the clock. So it cost Cincinnati in 2 different ways. The sound, the noise, once again bothering this offense.
Rusnick has a career long of 54 yards in the field goal range department. They'd have to get to the 37. Sorsby incomplete. Good coverage by Donovan Jones on Cyrus Allen. And this is the ball game, 4th and 7.
Donovan Jones probably got away with a bit of a pass interference, grabbed the arm of Cyrus Allen out of the break, but not called. This is the ball game, and this will be as loud as this crowd has been all day.
And Matt Rule is going to use one of his timeouts here.
Timeout. Nebraska. Their 2nd of the half. 30 seconds in length.
In Lincoln, they've sold out their home stadium, 400 plus sellouts. And today, while this game is considered a neutral site or actually a home game for Cincinnati, these fans have become a huge factor on this last drive. Just deafening noise on field level here, Mark.
And Q, we're in a stadium they call the loudest stadium in the world. Usually that's for Chiefs games, but these Nebraska fans are certainly doing their part on a big 4th down. 142.2, the record decibel level. Earned this stadium the moniker, loudest stadium in the world.
Probably pushing that number tonight. 4th and 7. If you're Cincinnati, what kind of options do you prefer?
Well, you'd love to get Brendan Sorsby an easy read, but if I'm Nebraska, you're playing tight man coverage and keeping Sorsby in the pocket.
Complete. Back to Cyrus Allen for the 1st down. Clutch. He's working against Hartzog with 1:04 to go, trying to get into field goal range.
They went out and got these receivers to beat man coverage, and Cyrus Allen does it right then, gets matched up with Malcolm Hartzog. They end up spying Brendan Sorsby with 2 players, and he delivers an accurate pass.
12-yard gain. Here he is again on the QB draw, 1 man to beat. Sorsby using his legs to tiptoe down to the 46-yard line. Stops the clock with 59 seconds to play. 2nd down coming up.
Love that call. Straight quarterback draw. Get Brendan Sorsby running. It's hurt Nebraska all day long. And now we're getting close to field goal range. Probably need, I don't know, 8 more yards to have a shot for a miracle field goal.
Coach told us Rusnak has 57-yard range. Sorsby, nobody home. Royer went downfield, and Sorsby expected him to break the pattern off.
Yeah, it looked like he was going wide to Caleb Goody. It was sort of in between Joe Royer and Caleb Goody.
54 seconds to play, 3rd and 2.
For Cincinnati, do you dare run the ball here?
Wow.
Just to get the first down.
The clock becomes your enemy then, right?
You got to hurry to the line
so.
of scrimmage.
Yeah.
It really becomes your enemy if you don't get it. It's obvious 4-down territory.
3rd and 2, quarterback keep. Sorsby got the first down. No timeouts remaining.
And now the clock will stop until the chains are set, so you got to hurry back. Career long of 54. They're inching towards that. About 6 yards away now, but Brendan Sorsby, the power, gets the first down.
Surveys and pulls. Incomplete, and a flag. Look like we're going to have PI against Malcolm Hartzog Jr. He was trying to cover Cyrus Allen with 41 seconds to play.
I think you could get Malcolm Hartzog on a hold before the ball was thrown, or pass interference after it was thrown.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 7, 10-yard penalty, and automatic first down.
I mean, right off the line of scrimmage, you make the move, and Malcolm Hartzog has the grab, and then he's just face guarding. Matt Austin, what did you see on that one? Did you see it the same way?
Yeah, I agree with you, Roddy. As they got close to the sideline, he had a pretty good grip on the receiver's arm. He couldn't detach and get away from him. So, and if you're holding before the pass, once the ball's thrown, it turns into pass interference. Yep. This time they just called it before.
Thanks, Matt. 1st and 10.
And that puts them in field goal range for a long field goal.
Sorsby up top in danger territory. It's picked off by Hartzog. Atonement and redemption for Hartzog. He had committed a penalty on the previous play.
I mean, it's just a great play by Malcolm Hartzog. I think the receiver, Caleb Goody, could have done more to become a defender and knock that ball away, and Matt Rule absolutely loves it. That shirt, we almost always almost win. Not today.
You can cross out the almost.
The exception.
He took a shot, Sorsby did. They hadn't had much success all night going up top, and it didn't work out that final time.
And I don't think he saw Malcolm Hartzog, who lined up sort of as a nickel defender down near the line of scrimmage.
Timeout.
And then ran back
Nebraska
to that deep half, over the top of the go down the sideline. Brendan Sorsby. It's like, oh,
what a catch, Roddy.
It was a great interception.
He pinned it against his body with one hand.
Tremendous play by Malcolm Hartzog.
34 seconds to go. That secondary has a lot of new players. Yeah, they can burn that shirt.
No, you can cross out the almost, always, and almost, and just go with "we win" today for Nebraska football.
They print those up tomorrow. It's going to be a nice trip back to Lincoln. About a 3-hour drive northeast of here.
Disappointing for Cincinnati. I mean, you've just gotten in field goal range. The last thing you could afford, obviously, was a turnover. Brendan Sorsby goes for it all, and it doesn't pay off. And Nebraska starts this season with a win, a season where there are a lot of hopes and expectations. Yeah. Some say an approachable schedule down the stretch. Don't worry about that week to week, but a win today for Matt Rule sets up the potential for a big third year for Matt Rule once again.
And conversely, as Raiola hugs his uncle, Donovan, conversely for Coach Satterfield and the Bearcats, they lose their 6th game in a row going back to last season. and coming painfully close on that last pass. Setting off the fireworks here in Kansas City. And we saw a bunch of them late in the game as Raiola finishes 33 of 42 passing for 243 yards. This, the late definitive play, and he didn't let the ball hit the ground either. Huskers win. SportsCenter coming up next on ESPN. For Roddy Jones, Quint Kesenick, and our entire talented crew behind the camera you never get a chance to see. Aladdin Freeman, Kim Belton, our director producer. I'm Mark Jones. Now here's Scott Van Pelt in SportsCenter.